Okay, welcome back to the Zilosophy YouTube channel for an update. Been a little radio silence for the most part from me on YouTube and most of my other channels. Still hammering Instagram and Facebook with stories about the truth of COVID fraud, election fraud. Lots coming to light. I just had a few days off in Watertown, Mass, where I'm from. Scott and Lee flew out to Anaheim for Clay Clark's event. They both spoke yesterday, which was Saturday. Today's Sunday, the 18th, I think. And Sasha went somewhere for a rest. If you follow Scott's Tipping Point Radio, and the other, he was just on with Kirsten W. and Mike Jaco on YouTube. You know that we got hit with a bioweapon in Pennsylvania, in Scott's hometown, because he rains a lot of thunder in them, and some people don't like it. I was very lucky. I was fine, although I felt it happen. We were at the event at a beautiful sports complex where they hold church indoors on Sunday, and after church we were able to use their stage, but the AC was very cold. And I remember just feeling awful, like immediately after the event started. Just kind of that feeling you get when you got a cold or a flu coming on, kind of chilly and achy. But I have a lot of natural supplements with me. Thanks, Mom. I took my sister Diana, who gave me the colloidal silver nasal spray. I just hammered away at that, and this stuff called Nanosoma. Drink a lot of vitamin C, emergency drinks, and got a lot of rest in Pennsylvania before I drove to Boston. And then when I got to my parents' house where I grew up in Watertown, they're not there, they're in Florida. So I literally did nothing for 3 days except eat and sleep, which was amazing. And then yesterday finally got on the road again to drive all the way back. Somewhere in Maryland somehow, between Pennsylvania and West Virginia, on my way to Lexington, Kentucky for the show there tomorrow, Monday the 19th at the Legends Ball Field from, I think it's 11:30 to 4, kind of a weirder schedule, but going to be some music and some speakers, and then there's a donor dinner tomorrow night. Anyway, before I get into promoting the remaining shows, that's one of three. I'll tell about the other ones in Nashville and Tampa. But I finally understand, I've said many times, I don't do this for glory. This isn't very fun. It's exhausting. And literally when I had days off, all I could manage to do was eat and sleep. And then getting in the car yesterday was just brutal. I imagine that's what it feels like for soldiers who are on leave for R&R. And then they have to go back to the front line, or maybe not all the way to the front line, but somewhere near that. It's the only time I've ever felt that. The closest thing I've ever felt is like going back to school or work after a vacation, which also sucks. But not nearly as bad. I did not want to come back out here, and that's not because I don't enjoy meeting all the people and enjoy serving my country as I've been doing. It's just brutal, man. I could use, I literally got to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm rested. I could now catch up on some work and some videos and creating some curriculum for Academy of Divine Knowledge, which I need to get to soon. But I had to get back on the road. I didn't have to, but I've given my word that I was going to be back and help the last 3 shows of the Arise Freedom Tour. Those are the last 3 scheduled shows. We don't know what's going to happen after that. Scott is talking about taking a week off, turning his bus ride around and continuing on. If he does that, wants me to come on the bus, that would be awesome. But I would like to see, and I haven't spoken, we did have a meeting last week, but I haven't told him this part yet. I'd like to see him take a little more time off, maybe a month, so we can actually plan something on where we want to go with the bus. But I don't know what his contract is with the bus company and any of that. So bottom line is we've got 3 more scheduled shows. Scott wants to continue to do more. Lee's going to get home at least for a little while and hang with her teenage daughter because she's missed a lot of time with her this year. Sasha's going to take a month off and do some editing on his movie. So we'll see what happens. But I've posted on my Telegram channel. By the way, I haven't promoted that very well on my YouTube videos. My Telegram channel is at Zilosophy for all. That's the number 4. Zilosophy is spelled like philosophy, but with a Z. It's on the channel. You can see that. Number 4, and then ALL. You can also follow me on Facebook. It's just under Michael Zildjian, and on Instagram at mzilj. I have at Zilosophy for all channels for those as well that I used to use, but I've just been using my personal channels. I mean, the fact is, Facebook's going away for crimes against humanity, high treason. Same with Instagram, same with YouTube. It's all going to fold. Oh, I'm about to enter West Virginia, a state where many of you might not know I used to work. I used to be the entertainment director at the Mountaineer Racetrack and Gaming Resort in Chester, West Virginia. I lived in Pittsburgh for a couple years and became a Yinzer and a big fan of Primanti Brothers sandwiches at that time. So back in West Virginia, it's a beautiful state. I mean, it's a beautiful drive today, going through western PA, Maryland, West Virginia, and then Kentucky. It's just green, it's open. You can smell the freedom out here in the rural areas of America. And again, I'll say, just because people choose to live simply, or maybe they didn't even choose it, maybe it just happened, doesn't make them simple-minded. And the rural areas of America are the heartbeat of America. And, we are the vast majority. People that want freedom, that don't want tyranny, that are against communism, that voted for Trump. Some say more than 100 million, which, based on my research, I tend to believe. It was certainly more than 80 million. And Biden's real numbers are, depending on who you talk to, somewhere between 20 and 40 million. That's going to be fun. As we saw this week, the election fraud facts are starting to come to light. And once again, the conspiracy factists are right. Arizona, Georgia, already proven to be a disaster. Plenty of proof to overturn those elections already, even though the audits aren't official. Same happening, coming soon in Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan. I mean, really, there needs to be an audit in every state. I've been a huge outspoken supporter of Governor DeSantis in Florida. It's why I consider Florida my home now, even though I don't have a place that I rent or own currently there, because of the job that he did. But I understand he's balking at auditing Florida, and Seth Keshel just came out with some very interesting information that there's several counties in Florida, at least 3 that are critical need of audit based on Seth Keshel's analysis. For those who don't know him, he's one of the most, what's the word I'm looking for? One of the most respectable sources for this kind of information. He's ex-military intelligence. He does incredible mathematical analysis based on voter registration and history voting, and raises questions in certain counties. I mean, really, we need to audit every state to find out what happened. Many people in Massachusetts believe that Trump actually won Massachusetts. I can tell you, from what I know, that seems to be the case. In fact, he may have won as many as 49 states, according to some people. Certainly had over 400 electoral college votes based on the real numbers. We know that. And so all of this stuff's coming out. Meanwhile, you have the world in shambles. There's protests in France, Ireland, Germany, Cuba, South Africa, Algeria. The list goes on and on. Haiti, because they killed the president there. For people that just want freedom, they don't want any more tyranny. And we're speaking a lot about medical freedom in many of those countries, but not in Cuba. That's not really what it's about. It's about done being a communist country. Nobody knows better than them what the downsides of that disgusting type of government is. And so you've got giant protests going on everywhere about lockdowns, and they know it's a fact now that the total death numbers worldwide did not increase year over year from 2019 to 2020. How could that be possible if there was really a pandemic? It couldn't be, because there wasn't. It was a flu that was recategorized as COVID-19, and really it wasn't even a flu. It's a bioweapon that's triggered by 5G and other cell tower and radioactive tower. It's radiation poisoning. I think it's Dr. Robert Young, I believe, was the speaker that was on the Rise Freedom Tour for a couple dates, told us that coronavirus actually means, literally, radiation poisoning. That's what it is. And it's coming out now. And the VAERS numbers about the vaccine, I mean, it's 11,000 people in the U.S. have died. I think it's 30,000 worldwide. And we know that VAERS reporting is generally 1%, according to commie Harvard studies. Generally 1% of the total. Even the commies have admitted that. So say best case scenario, it's 10% of the total. That's still 10x. So we're talking about 110,000 people in the U.S. that have died so far. I think it's probably closer to the 1%, or certainly somewhere split the difference. About 500,000 people in the U.S. have died from these illegal jabs that aren't approved by the FDA. So, people are fed up, and it's coming to a head. And there's floods happening and chaos happening, and it's certainly starting to look like the book of Revelation around here. I'm not a doomsdayist by any stretch of the imagination. And I do believe this ends incredibly well for those who can make it, which won't be everyone. I do realize that. And I do also realize it's going to get a lot worse before it gets better. Because imagine the people that are still in full denial of election fraud and COVID fraud. They can't even see past that. See all the other hundreds and thousands of lies that we've been told throughout our lifetimes. And that stuff's going to be coming out soon, in the next few weeks to months. A lot of this stuff is going to be proven to be factual, and the conspiracy theorists are once again going to be proven to be right. I don't think we've been wrong about one thing yet. And it even feels weird saying we in that group, because I'm only new to that world since November, when I took the biggest red pill I could find and was like, okay, I'm done with this. I just want to find out the truth about everything. So anyway, interesting times, crazy times, obviously. As Tariq Adib, my really good friend and astrologer, and I spoke about yesterday, the Age of Aquarius is all about going inward and listening to the heart, which ironically is what Zilosophy was all founded on. The whole principle of Zilosophy at the beginning was I couldn't change the world, I could only change myself and be the best person I'm capable of being, and the only way to do that was to go inward and look inward and work on all the things that I need to work on. And listen, quiet the mind and listen to the heart. And here we are. So in the midst of the chaos, that's my advice to you. As I give advice to you guys, it's always advice to myself as well. Something I haven't been very good at lately because of the chaos of the tour and just trying to help make it happen and go city to city. So a few days off, even though I didn't do a lot of meditating and grounding, I mostly slept to recover. Now I'm starting to do that again because I'm not just completely exhausted. And I certainly hope to keep going on these tours, and I hope that we can do it in a way that everybody gets some rest and we get some time to plan and then regroup and do it so it's not just pure chaos. Which again, I do want to say publicly, it's a miracle that Sasha Lee and Scott pulled this off. To leave that other tour because RDS is so unscrupulous. As I've said in past videos, I'm not going to revisit that. But to leave that other tour and pull something together in a matter of days and then pull it off is quite literally miraculous. As someone who used to do this for a living, that's just not something you do. Pull together a tour in a few days and then pull it off. And so for those who have been frustrated with, getting information from us about venues and cities and things, I just want to thank you for your patience with us, because a lot of times even those of us on the tour don't know where we're going until a couple days before, and that's really because of the nature of the way this tour was started. And again, huge shout out to these guys for pulling it off. It's incredible to watch and to be a part of, and I'm so honored to be out here with these guys, serving our country, serving humanity, telling people the truth. That's what Zilosophy is all about. That's what the Arise Freedom Tour is all about. And so it's been an incredible blessing to be on this run and do 3 more shows and then see what happens after that. Like I said, planning on hoping to do more, hoping for a significant break before we do, so that I can get caught up, start creating my Academy of Divine Knowledge curriculum and making more videos with my characters, which I just haven't had the time or energy to do, and then my illustrated videos as well. There's a lot that can be done out there to help with funny and pointed messaging about what's going on in the world and what's going on in our country. Just hitting a little traffic here, so I'm going to be going a little slower in the background there, you'll notice. Anyway, that's the update for today. Sorry I've been out of communication, but again, I just needed some rest and feeling a lot better since I got it. Yesterday was pretty grueling, like I said, just getting in the car, and I didn't want to do it, but then I got a great night's sleep last night. Lied in bed this morning, watched a little bit of the British Open before getting in the car again. So I feel rejuvenated. And again, you can follow me on my Telegram channel, which is at Zilosophy for All. On Facebook, it's just Michael Zildjian, Zildjian, and on Instagram at mzilj. Going to keep firing truth bombs there until they kick me off, which they haven't done yet. If you're watching this, you know the YouTube channel, but I'm also on Rumble, and I believe that is also at Zilosophy for All. Go ahead and subscribe there in case they nuke me here, which they eventually might do. You never know. Anyway, thanks for listening. Thanks for being here during the most amazing time to be alive. Also probably the most challenging, but definitely the most amazing. So thanks for being here with me, with us, and keep doing everything you can to help spread the truth, to help promote freedom and sovereignty for humanity. That's what this Age of Aquarius is all about. It's being a part of the whole and serving the whole, and being sovereign within that. A sovereign piece of the whole. Right? So thank you guys. I'll talk to you soon. I love you, and God bless.